We'll start with the Ravens and Cowboys game because that was crazy there towards the end. I'm getting ready to come on, just absolutely rip Dallas, which we still might do during this episode. But, a crazy fourth quarter comeback, 19 unanswered points just in the fourth quarter alone for Dallas, who ultimately winds up losing 28-25 to the Ravens. It was really the Derrick Henry show throughout much of this game. He was just the man on a mission, especially after, you have to remember this, guys. Dallas worked out Derrick Henry. The entire offseason, everybody's saying they got to go get somebody. They need a running back. There's no one in that room. And Derrick Henry's sitting in front of them. They decide to not pursue him. They're stuck with Zeke Elliott. They have Dowdle. They have, all this collection of players, this rotation. And Derrick Henry goes into Dallas, 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks like a total man amongst boys in this game. It was crazy.
This was a must win for Baltimore. Like, seriously, a must go and get it done. For both these teams that had that type of feel. Like, Dallas just got blown out at home by New Orleans. Now they're at home again. Baltimore's 0-2. This felt like a game where the losing team is
in trouble,
almost a time to hit panic mode. Whereas the winning team gets a much needed win. And unfortunately, it's my AFC North rival Baltimore coming out on top with their two stellar running backs and Derrick Henry and Lamar.
Yeah, Jack's sitting here on the fourth down play call going, I'm not going to let Lamar throw it. Dude can't throw it. And
this team doesn't have a QB. They have 2 amazing running backs.
I don't know why.
It truly is remarkable.
This can't possibly be the take on a day where Lamar goes 12 for 15, 182 and a touchdown. We're moving on from that. We're not even
He's running back. He's running back. But Baltimore, huge win on the road. Dallas is cute comeback. Baltimore holds them off. And
there are real concerns with this Cowboys team. I mean, it is now 2 weeks in a row where they've let teams come in and, the comeback was cute, like Jack said, but they've let the Saints and the Ravens come in, run all over them. I mean, just embarrass them on their home field. And people might look back on this differently now because it's a 3-point game, but this was a putrid showing. And I think there are real red flags in Dallas right now. I mean, you have to be concerned. Would you agree, Ziggy?
Yeah, I mean, they get a nice little respite, right, with the Giants and the Steelers. But then you've got a 4-week run where you host the Lions, you go to San Francisco, you go to Atlanta, you host the Eagles, and you host the Texans. And, if they still have these problems, right, if they don't have a functional run defense, you can't ask Dak Prescott to put up 30-plus a game. You can't ask any NFL quarterback to put up 30-plus a game. So if you're in a situation where you're just not able to stop the opponent from controlling the game, you can get away with this against the Browns, right? Because they have Deshaun Watson and a bunch of nobodies. All those teams, the teams the Cowboys want to be contenders with, are different. And when you've got a first place schedule, you're playing a lot of tough teams, and you're in a division where you don't win it for free. I do think it's time to start getting really nervous that this Dallas team might not be able to live up to what they were hoping for.
Well, Jack, remember part of it too is we were talking about Dallas beating the Browns, how impressive that was week 1. Maybe the Browns just stink.
Oh, I mean,
the Browns might just be horrible.
I just sent a text in our group chat about an hour ago that week 1 was just like the second worst team in the league beating the worst team in the league. That's all it was. But I mean, Dak Prescott for 3 quarters was horrendous. I mean, the dude had 3 fantasy points through 3 quarters. And we want to see Dak all 4 quarters do what he did in the fourth. Not just come alive in the fourth quarter when it's too little too late, but he was really bad. CD was quiet. I mean, I'm starting to panic a bit if I'm Dallas. I seriously am.
Yeah, it's
to lose 2 in a row at home is not good.
We do have 2 donations.
Oh, yes. We'll hit it eventually. We'll get there in a second. We'll just finish up this game first here. And from the Ravens side of things, Baltimore did come out like a desperate team, and they had to, because if you're 0-3, we went over the schedule they have. A lot of first place teams, a lot of really good teams on that schedule coming up. You needed to get this win. And I think we saw the identity of the Ravens established today. It's a team that can run down your throats. I mean, Derrick Henry, for some people have been saying he looks washed through 2 weeks. I don't really know where that's coming from. But when he's running the way he did today and Lamar Jackson has this thing going on, this looked more like the team that played Kansas City that we said was the second best in the AFC on the opening night of the season. And I think they're going to be... it's tough to bounce back and forth. You don't want to go all over the place with your takes, but to rebound the way they did today, to show up, the defense for the most part was very good up until the fourth quarter. This was a huge win for the Ravens, who, in my eyes, put themselves right back in position to contend again.
It was big.
They're 1-2.
What do you mean?
What do we mean they're in position to contend again? They've won 1 game.
What are you talking about? This was a huge win on the road against a Cowboys team that,
No, they're in a position to have a chance to make the playoffs.
I mean,
And I get that they
three
could
of
turn
the
it
season.
around and compete,
You
but I'm
guys-
not putting a lot of stock into beating a 1-2 Dallas team.
do you guys
Like, no.
understand too? Like in this division, you have an absolute juggernaut in my Steelers, like an absolute freak show in my Steelers.
It's week 3.
I mean, yeah, but what do you mean? Well, back in contention now.
I think if you're 0-3 with the schedule that they have, it's very hard to climb out of 0-3 holes. To win this game, in my eyes,
1-2 is one game better. Paul.
yeah, it's one game better, but it's a lot of momentum
Yeah,
matters.
I mean,
in
to
this
be like
league.
in contention. That's like,
Are you kidding me? Momentum matters in this league. You start rolling off wins, like they build on each other. If you lose this, you're 0-3. You're going into next week, and the vibes are down everywhere. The team's losing. Like I think that this was a huge win for them, and I do think it puts them back in contention. Winning matters.
not when Pittsburgh's in the division.
Yeah, no. This was monumental for Baltimore today. A monumental win.
I think Dallas might just be bad.
That could be the case, but given where we are right now in week 3, big win. Look, the chat's got to back me up on this. Chat has to. back
Ziggy,
me
if I
up.
offered you,
They're not. Everybody's typing that Ziggy's right.
That can't possibly be it.
I see that.
Jeremy JB, I do see quote unquote Ziggy is right, but people are saying momentum does matter. I mean, listen, I'm right in this case.
I see Jack is more giddy and confident when he's joking around.